Hey everyone, Mark and Joey here on a Tuesday morning, and wow, we're going to talk hockey. We're not far away. The summer has just disappeared on us, and here we are past the middle of August. It's insane. And the teams are going to be hitting the ice soon, and they're going to be exhibition games by the middle of September.
Yeah, still some signings.
So yeah, some unknowns because of some signings that are out there. But what we thought we'd do, like we did in the NFL, is do some of the camps as we start to move towards the regular season. We're not going to be as in-depth because the NFL is so crazy, so many players, and so many moves that happen to make teams better or worse, but hockey's not quite the same. However, I do want to remind you before we get going here about the website, ultimatesportschannel.com. Please check in there. Also, this week we added bios on ourselves. We forgot to kind of introduce ourselves when we started doing the first podcast, but there's been thousands of new subscribers on Roku and thousands of viewers on Vimeo here. And so, anyway, we added it to the site rather than have to repeat and make you all go through that all the time and boredom of our lives. But we've had a pretty interesting life, and Joey's 22 years old, and we've had a fantastic life through golf and hockey, baseball, all those kinds of things that we travel through, and we're still together in the pro golf world here and doing our podcast. So anyway, the story is a little bit interesting. Also, you're going to find there all the places you can find us on audio podcast or video podcast. You're also with links to get there, and also our sponsors. So we appreciate you going to the site, seeing all those things.
Subscribe, follow, download,
do all those things we do on the internet to let us know that we're being liked out there. It also helps us in continuing to promote the podcast. So if you can do that, we really appreciate it. But let's get into hockey. What we're going to do here, actually, we're going to get a little more detailed with the hockey side because there's a lot more games than there in the NFL.
Yeah.
So we're going to do some predictions as well as talk about some of the main changes in each camp. We're going to do 3 a day, and it should get us through.
Yeah, they're going to be shorter than the NFL. There's not as many, and NFL players are dropping out like flies and coming in like crazy, so we got a little bit more.
Stuff, yeah.
This is going to be, we're going to give them a points prediction, who the MVP is, where they're going to finish in their division. The division is also bigger than the NFL, and maybe a little less impactful, obviously, too. But hockey, we're going to do 3 in a day. I'll give you a little spiel on each team and, kind of some changes they've made. But, some teams, like a team like the Leafs, there's not a ton going on up front.
There is one, is Marner.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. Yeah. But anyways, I'm going to start with the Florida Panthers. And the reason why is I think they're going to be the most interesting team next year. Obviously, being down in Florida, they have to have a good team to get fans. It's not a loyal fan base down there, although the away teams have a lot of fun when they play down there.
We were there for the Leaf game.
You get some cheap tickets. Yeah, you get some cheap tickets, and you get to go watch
$35 hockey tickets. Like the Leaf fans are like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah, it was
a great, 150 up here,
and the crowd was nuts, and probably mostly Canadians. So Florida Panthers though are turning around. I think they're going to be good on their own this year. I think they'll make a run for it. Playoffs 100%. But anyways, key players they picked up. You got Sergei Bobrovsky, first of all, which was a great goaltender out there in Columbus. Single-handedly, in my mind, swept the Tampa Bay Lightning. I thought that was a fantastic performance by him. So they stole Columbus Blue Jackets goaltender. That's a great start. And then they already had a young core kind of building. By the way, had a great home record, great power play, and won 5 in a row at the end of the season. And really were just a little late. But also, maybe the most important is they got Joel Quenneville. And obviously the magic he was able to do in Chicago, can he do it here in Florida? I think he can. Great team. So,
well, here, I got one thing for them, though. So they had a horrible road record and a great home record, right? Yeah. So they should, before they head out on the road, they should take the temperature in the dressing room down to like minus 20 and make them sit in there for a little while. Because I think what happens is they go from Florida to all these cold cities when they go on the road trips and they can't play. So let's prep them a little bit, get the body used to some really cold temperatures, and that might help them. Because we saw them at home, and I would have thought they were one of the top teams in the league the night the Leafs played them.
They were, though.
And, so they got to find a way to win on the road. I think it's the cold. I think it's like when Tom Brady goes down to the Dolphins, it's too hot. I think when they go on the road, it's too cold. So let's prep up that dresser with a little bit of a freezer, get the body temperature down, get these guys ready to play in the cold, and go ahead and finish your conversation.
Well, I think it's having a goaltender that can travel. But anyways, what we're going to do is, the points prediction, the ceiling they have, the floor they have if they make the playoffs, division, team MVP, Breakout Star. So, Florida Panthers, I predict they'll be 101 points. And let's round it down to 100 points. That's a big season from them. Their ceiling is only 104 and their floor is 97. I think they're going to be really consistent. They're going to be within that margin. I don't see them going crazy and being like the next Tampa Bay Lightning, but I don't see them falling off. So they're going to be right in that mix there. In my mind, that puts them third in the division. maybe second, but very unlikely. So third in this division that has Tampa Bay, Toronto, Boston. So third in that division, which is very, very good.
That's really hard,
Between 97 and 104 points. I think their home record is going to be...
So who are they punting? Leafs or Boston?
Boston.
Okay.
So the team MVP will be Huberdeau. They'll obviously make the playoffs being third in that division. And the breakout star is going to be Tippett. I think they have a lot of great young cores mixed with veterans, mixed with a veteran coach. And now, really, the goaltender, you talk about Road, I feel that relies more on the goaltender than players more often. And they have a goaltender now that is veteran, can travel, one of the best in the league. So I'm really liking Florida to do that. I'll put Boston off. I'll talk about that later. But
thank God, Leafs might get through a round.
Yeah, but anyways, Florida, I think, takes that third spot in that division. Very, very good division. Around 100 points for the season. And Jonathan Huberdeau has a fantastic season. He breaks out. He is going to be a top 10 player in the league, I think, this year. With a great defense, great forwards. I think it just helps him be better when the team's better, of course. And having a coach like Quenneville, who coached some of the greatest stars in the game in Taves and Kane. So that is the Florida Panthers. My next team is going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. And why? Because they're my team. We're in Toronto here. Obviously, a lot of nerve-wracking fans right now trying to figure out what's Mitch Marner.
Yeah.
These are based off Marner signing before the season starts. Okay? Not the preseason, but before the season starts. That means we get him for 82 games. If he doesn't, we saw what happened to Nylander. It could be a rough year for him, which means a tougher year for the Leafs. But I think...
although the Leafs were better without Nylander, so maybe, who knows how they play when a star goes down.
Yeah, but he is really good, though.
He's an amazing hockey player.
I'm going to go with the
Maybe
Leafs.
the best player on the Leafs, even though Austin Matthews gets that tag. Marner is an amazing hockey player. He can hold on to the puck better than anybody I see in the league, and I think it would be, for sure, really hard to get that kind of record without him.
Well, yeah, I mean, although he wouldn't be playing anywhere else, I think he'd be okay that way. They got a couple young guys, but I think you need Marner.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I'm not too worried about the Leafs. They got so many weapons. But let's go at 105 points for the Leafs. Their ceiling could be record-breaking at 112, 13. What Tampa Bay did this year, they can easily match that, assuming the team comes together. With Anderson the way we know he can play, if he can withstand an entire season. Obviously, he's been injured. So let's go say they're healthy. They got Marner. 105 seems very realistic. In fact, they should have it. They can easily get into 110 range, 112 range. Their floor, I don't see them going really anything under than like 95, and that's really being tough on them. That's assuming they have some injuries in there. Not everyone plays 82 games. They could fall to 95 points on the season. But for me, they're first or second in this division. They rival Tampa Bay for first place in this division 100%. They still might be second. Tampa Bay, obviously, very, very strong. Still going in this year. But second or first in this division means they play Florida. They may want to finish second because if Florida finished third, you want to play Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
If you finish first, you could very well play Boston.
Wouldn't that
be a wild card round. And knowing Leaf fans, we're believing that will probably happen. We finish first, they probably
do
finish
all
fourth.
that work to get the first and Boston drops the
So
fourth.
do they make the playoffs? 100% yes. Who's the team MVP? I'm going to go with Matthews. Now, Matthews actually hasn't been the MVP. You've talked about this.
Yeah.
Even though he's scored the most goals and actually third in the NHL since he's entered the league. So, obviously, he's scoring the goals. And he's not even playing so many games. But Marner, to everyone, has been the MVP because he gets to play 82 games. He does assists, he does goals, and then he does PK and power play. So, he's kind of known as the MVP. I say Matthews has such a dominant scoring season. He might reach like 65 goals.
But he has got to stay in the lineup.
That's the key.
And that's been the trouble.
I'm going based off health, him being healthy, because that's the only way I can base. I can't predict he's going to get injured. So he's healthy. I say honestly something in the record range of 65 goals, and he is the team MVP. And the breakout star, it's hard to find a breakout star in the Leafs because they're already so young and they're kind of. But Ilya Mikheyev or whatever, I can't pronounce his name. I'm so sorry, but Ilya, you're going to hear that name a lot this year. Why? He's actually coming from the KHL. So he's played pro hockey, and he's coming over now. They say he might be on a line with Tavares or Matthews. So that's why I'm giving him the breakout star. He's going to be the new piece in that top six forwards. No one really from the bottom six of the forward side or the bottom four of the D side is going to be a breakout star. A breakout star is someone who's going to get that chance to play with those guys.
Yeah.
And this guy, according to Mike Babcock, you'd love to see him on one of those lines, especially if Marner doesn't sign early in the season. You can see this kid definitely get some playing time there. Had 43 points last year in the KHL. So I'm going with him as the breakout star, assuming he's going to get some play up there. You got to remember, Hyman tore his ACL.
Yeah.
So someone's going to be filling that gap. And if Babcock's already thinking about putting him on that line, if he plays really well, he'll be on that line for the whole entire year, which means you're guaranteed to break out and be a big star with the Maple Leafs. Obviously going to rack up points with those guys on your line.
And by the way, you did not talk about Hyman, which you should have around Matthews. And in my mind, Hyman, if he doesn't come back, he was a big, important part of that line. He's the only tough guy the Leafs have. And I don't mean tough like fighting, but he's always in the play. Defense. He's always mixing it up. He's always tough. But I will say, for me, MVP this year is Tavares. He also had a good year last year. It's not like it's a comeback MVP. But Tavares is going to take over the leadership of this team. Austin Matthews is hurt. I predict he'll be hurt again this year. Tavares is the elder statesman here. Babcock needs to make him the captain of this team. Just because you're talented, let's go to Edmonton, where they got McDavid, who should never have been made the captain because he's a good player, a great player. That's not what a captain's all about. A captain's about a guy who leads the team. That's what Tavares can do. A lot of years in this league, a lot of experience. I think you're going to see him rise to the top. Babcock, you're an idiot if you don't make him the captain. And he will direct this team for the next number of years. While Matthews plays the assistant role, just like he should, and star role, along with Marner. This is going to be a key to the Leafs. They need senior leadership. This is why they haven't got past Boston. And Tavares, give him credit, stayed away from the Eagle thing all last year, let all that controversy around who's going to be captain, all that all happen. I believe this year he'll be made captain, bring a senior management or senior leadership role to this team. It's going to make the Leafs that much better. I think this is going to lead to the playoffs this year. That's my MVP for the Leafs this year.
Tavares. I don't think Tavares wins MVP because he's too quiet and less flashy than Matthews.
I think inside MVP the room he's going to
goes based off scoring. No, but they don't choose the MVP. Yeah. I'm talking about fans.
I know, but he's
going to be Matthews. Like but I agree with you about Tavares. He's very important. Real other quick things on the Leafs before I move on to the next team, which will be the third team of this segment, is Spez's impact. How important is he going to be? Yeah. Is he actually going to play a lot? Is he just going to be a fourth liner? Still, what kind of leadership can he have? You talk about experience. This guy been in the league forever and would actually have time to be a captain. Argue with refs, pump up guys, talk to them on the bench. He would actually have the time. Secondly, a lot of Leaf fans at home go, a breakout star might be Tyson Barrie, and why am I not picking him? He's not a breakout star to the league. He'd be a breakout star to us here in Toronto. He was great in Colorado, so in my mind, he can't be a breakout star. He's already very important. Already a good player. He's making $7 million a season. Yeah. He's very important. So Tyson Barrie, though, Spezza, what are their impacts this year? Who's the backup goalie for Anderson? Because he's probably, you got to limit his games, so who's going to finish that role? So a couple other questions. I just think still overall, coaching, great players, they'll be fine.
They have a lot of backup for the top players. So I think
and by the way, the Marlies have still been great for so many years with young guys. Yeah. So, just keep calling them up. You see Cap and you see Johansson. They obviously played great, so we'll see that going forward. Yeah. Anyways, let's go to the third team. I'm going in a completely different direction with a different division, different team, but I felt like I had to do them. They were the most exciting in the offseason. New Jersey Devils. Yeah. All of a sudden, a playoff team, guys. I totally
believe that. Who's there being the GM? Lou.
No, he's in the Islanders.
Oh, Islanders. I'm sorry. Yeah, excuse me. Sorry, I got the wrong team out that way.
Got PK Subban. Could be a huge impact. Yeah. Could be a total bust. Be interesting with PK. Never know with him. But also the draft pick they had, I was very high on them. I thought they did a great job drafting there. Obviously having the number one pick. So, they got Jack Hughes. They got PK Subban. I felt like they were already a decent team. They had a bad year and then won the lottery, really, is what happened. They already have Taylor Hall, who I think has done really good in New Jersey. Other than when he was with Edmonton, he wasn't very good there. Very good in New Jersey. Also number one talent pick. So can they bring it all together? I think this is the year they put it together. They make a division where I see teams aging out. Pittsburgh, aging out. Washington, I think they're still good enough. I think the Islanders might have been a fluke last year. I don't know if they continue to be where they were last year. Pittsburgh maybe out of the playoffs. Islanders are big question mark, could be out of the playoffs. Lost their goaltender, got Varlamov from Colorado. I don't mind the replacement, but too many questions there. Yeah. So that division has a lot of movement possibilities, and the New Jersey Devils could definitely be a team to do it.
And they just, I think, underperformed last year. I don't think it was a skill-based issue. So I think they've got an opportunity to really, have a good season.
It'll be interesting. A lot of talent there. So on paper, definitely a playoff team. Anyways, New Jersey Devils, a prediction, I'm going to go with about 97, 98 points, which in that division is actually very strong. The Boston, Toronto, Tampa Bay were actually top three in the whole conference. Right. That division was not weak, but they were around the 95-point range to make playoffs. So, Floor, high 80s, 88, 90, which would still probably get them in. Probably maybe even divisional. Like I said, if you put out our division with the Leafs, that division again was around that range. So, with Pittsburgh out of the picture, Islanders not being as good as they are, 90 might get in. But I'm going to go, they're at high 90s, prediction, 97, 99. High 80s is the floor. Ceiling, I can see him go as high as like 105, 108 points.
Oh, you're insane.
No. With this talent, if it's put together properly on paper, you look at this team on paper, you're telling me
everybody else better fall apart. I'm giving them a good season, but are you kidding me?
You don't think they can reach 105?
No.
I say they can
God.
dominate that division. It'd be interesting. You gotta be a little outside the box here for a ceiling. You gotta remember, a ceiling.
Yeah.
That is everything clicking. Everything that we see on paper.
Of course, if everything
working.
clicks, everybody will be 105 points.
And more importantly, dominating their home ice, which is a key to any great team.
Right.
Anyways, playoffs, I think it's 100% yes. I think if they're around that 95 to 98 point range, I said they're making the playoffs, they're making the playoffs. Division plays, they're only going to be third, maybe wild card team.
Yeah.
Like I said, unless the ceiling, I just go big on the ceiling. I think it's more fun to do that. But they are probably more third in that division, truthfully. MVP, I'm going to go with Taylor Hall and their breakout star, obviously.
He should. Oh my God! Like Hall is a great player. Yeah. He got kind of run around in Edmonton, and I think this is something he should be able to show his game in New Jersey.
So I'm putting Washington in. I'm putting them in as a guarantee. In that division, I really don't have many other guarantees. But
we're going to get to those camps, so we won't go ahead on them.
New Jersey. I'm confident New Jersey's a third.
Yeah.
A third in that division. It gets them to play second team in that division. I think they'll be very strong. You got to watch out. If they can find a goaltender that gets hot, that talent up front, and now on the defensive side, adding PK, if he can get along with these guys. So very exciting there. I'm going to go with Jack Hughes, obviously the number one pick, being the breakout star. Taylor Hall being the MVP, as he should be. And let's be realistic with the points, I guess. 97, I feel, is fair. Maybe 95. But
enough to get that wild card spot.
Enough to get that wild card or third place in that division. So very cool on the Metropolitan Division. Islanders are out for me. We'll get into that later. But New Jersey Devils, they're going to be exciting. Question mark. Have the talent. Eventually got to get done. Otherwise, people might be getting fired. So they got lucky with the draft. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they did for sure. And I think they got the right pick, so we'll be looking forward to what's going to happen there. But there you go. We're onto the ice. We're indoors already in the middle of summer. Kind of depressing, but the NHL is not far away. Really exciting sports are coming up soon with that. And we'll be back. Won't be every day. It'll be where we have our gaps in the schedule. We'll do 3 at a time. We'll get through the 30 teams before we get to training camp, and we'll look forward to it. And like I say, the excitement's already building. NBA not far behind the NHL for starting, so that won't be far away till we're doing those camps as well. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll be back with a next camp review over the next couple days, and do them periodically over the next month.